Hello, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. I just want to take a brief moment and touch on motivating those around us and getting the best from the people that are around us, especially from those who are closest to us in our families. Um, I've been motivated for years now to see people achieving their best, having success in their lives. I ended up then getting married, and we had 4 children, and I was motivated more than ever to see my wife and my children be their best, and to see them succeed in life and thrive. And I began to study human beings and personalities and find out, what is it that makes us do what we do. And I learned that we are all motivated by something. Sometimes we're motivated in a positive way, and sometimes we're motivated in a negative way. And really looking and saying, hey, how can I positively motivate my children to be their best, causing them to thrive rather than touch on the fear, the personalities, and the things, their constraints, and cause them to survive. And in this learning, I began to talk to people, and they said, hey, we want this for our kids as well. We want this for our spouses. We want to recognize what motivates them in a positive way, what activates their strengths, what causes them to thrive, versus, trying to get them to, especially our children, to do what they need to do to accomplish their chores or whatever it is, in a negative sense, touching on their fear, which motivates or pushes it, draws out a reaction versus them thriving. And that reaction will ultimately, if you're touching on their fears on a consistent basis, that actually puts people into a survival mode. And so looking at people saying, hey, we want more of this, I designed a little presentation that helps us to dial in and recognize what motivates my child in a positive way, what motivates them in a negative way, what touches on the fear of their personality. Now, I know we don't like to necessarily always talk about fear, but the personalities have a side that they view as negative, and they have a need there that we all want to fulfill. And so I put together this little presentation that I give that highlights the strengths, that highlights the positive motivation of the different personalities and of our kids, and it could be of our spouses, and also some of the things that they fear and what drives them into survival mode, into reaction mode versus thriving and being their best and giving their best. And so I use this presentation, it's just to help highlight the strengths, highlight the constraints and the fears, and to say, hey, this is the way that we can motivate our children, motivate our spouses in a positive way, that we can connect to them, help them to be their best, produce their best, build our relationship together, help us connect and understand one another, and then help them to realize, and then our children to realize as well, why we want to react sometimes to things, and then we can limit and actually reduce our reaction out of fear and operate in our strength and stay in our strength zone. And so that's what this presentation does. It just highlights some of the areas, helps us to clarify as parents and as spouses where our children and spouses are at, and then helps us find a way to positively connect with them, to motivate them, and to help them thrive and to be their best. Thanks again for tuning in, and find ways to motivate those around you in a positive way.